Gather round for a festive fright. Make sure to hold your loved ones tight.
All right, everybody, welcome episode 41 of the Malevolent Movies podcast, summer special edition series. It is the Rock and Road Trip Battle of the Bands. Woo! And we've got
we're amped up.
This
here.
is
everyone.
Let's
This
go.
is where the crowd roars. Yeah.
Let's go.
You just edit that in, Tyler.
Yeah.
We got so I'm Sean here. We've got Trevor. Tyler is here, and because this is a special edition, we will go over all the parameters. We have some very special guests. First up, we have the legend P Rock, part of my our old Andy Kaufman-esque group, the Hong Kong Electric Company, a portion of the original 4M monster movie Monday Mayhem Club, which I'm sure you've heard Ryan and myself reference ad nauseum here on the podcast, and one half of the criminally underrated Loose Thursdays podcast, Mr. Patrick Cullinan, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. I don't know about criminally underrated, but maybe just criminal more than underrated.
Sure.
But very kind of you.
You know, I do what I do. Getting loose here.
Pleasure to be here.
So we are a band. Myself, this is the Rock and Road Trip. So myself, Trevor, and Pat, we are a power trio of sorts. Can we reveal the name?
Oh, yeah, of your band, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we are Macabre Knights.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And what is any good power trio without the perfect roadie? And we found the perfect roadie. Here, there's the logo.
There we are.
That's awesome.
A fanged broken skull, Macabre Knights in cryptic red letters there. And what's a power trio without a fantastic roadie? And we got one. We got Mr. Pop Gun Panic, a fan via the Malevolent Movies page, and he's here, and he's gonna be hauling all the heavy equipment. And I gotta warn you, Pop Gun, aka Morgan, there's a lot of spikes on all that equipment, so be wary.
That's all right. I used to stock at McDonald's. I can handle anything.
Oh yeah, there you go.
He's got experience.
It is with any Tyler Am production. There are a lot of ins and outs. There are a lot of rules to this summer extravaganza.
Trevor and Sean had to make a song as well.
That fucking
and do you guys have anything you want to say before I play this thing?
Sean, this is your baby. I was merely a vessel.
Yeah, well, the original band name that I came up with was Crucifixiation. And,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and for whatever,
Dude,
Trevor
I didn't
was
hear that.
Yes, okay. We'll go back to the chat, but I was like, man, Trevor seemed a little lukewarm on it, so I was like, okay. So he came up with Macabre Knights, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm digging it. And then all of a sudden,
you did. God damn it, Sean. That's fine. That's our album title.
There you go.
Crucifixiation.
There was a callback to a recent Malevolent movie series within this title, and I don't want to spoil it really. I say we just let her rip.
Gather round for a festive fright. Make sure to hold your loved ones tight. Huddle close and turn off the lights. It's time to dance with Macabre Knights.
I would say it wasn't frightening. It was like suspenseful, shocking, macabre.
No, it's not macabre. Get the name straight, Joe. We're here to stay. No, it's not macabre. Get the name straight, Joe. We're here to stay. Kill off the couch on your parents' basement. Macabre Knights gonna wipe you off the pavement. Rolling through town on a big ol' RV. Got a VCR bag full of horror movies. No, it's not macabre.
Macabre.
I told you it's not macabre.
Macabre.
It's not macabre. It's not macabre.
Macabre.
Joseph Robert Buckley, whose entire existence will be at the mercy of whatever ghouls we in Macabre Knights can summon, because frankly he is being incredibly disrespectful, mispronouncing our name. It is Macabre Knights. We have been Macabre Knights since the dawn of time. Your day of reckoning is at hand, young sir. Good day.
That movie was so macabre, I was shitting.
That was something.
was great.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Would you call that trap music? I don't,
It's trap troll metal.
trap troll metal. Love
Hell
it.
yeah.
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
There you go.
Sick.
Trap troll. Oh my god.
So episode 41 is all about Race with the Devil. This is a 1975 Peter Fonda, Warren Oates forgotten classic.
Is this our earliest movie?
I think it might be.
Yeah, I don't even know if we've gone outside the 80s.
I don't think so. Because
Ooh.
Sledgehammer was like 82, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was early 80s.
Okay.
So this is monumental.
Damn.
We
we're going
cracked
all
a
the
new
way
decade.
back. That's right.
The throwback.
Yay. But yeah, this was, I mean, the whole thing obviously is the road trip. And I really wanted to, as best we could, really get the road trip aspect.
Oh,
That
you
was kind
nailed
of
it.
my thing was I want to find like the best, most fun Malevolent movies type movie that is like all road trip.
Yeah.
And thank Christ I found this one, because all of them were, well, it starts with a road trip and then that's it. Or like, here we are at the campsite from our road trip. And that's how the movie starts. It's like, okay. Sad that Ryan's not on here because I figured he'd be the only one that would have seen this movie.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I figured Ryan would have like references and like he would be all over the credits of like the 70s.
Ryan's got references.
Yeah. So we have to do him a solid, and
I'm sure he'll do a whole little spiel.
Yeah. He'll be so
Yeah,
pissed off at
next
us for
episode.
not getting all this stuff that
Yeah,
he would
I was-
talk about.
yeah, he's gonna do an addendum on the next one.
Yeah, that's fine.
I looked up the director. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Jack Starrett for
Yep.
this, and his big thing was he directed episodes of Dukes of Hazzard, Hill Street Blues, Starsky and Hutch. And after you watch the movie, it really kind of all makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 What I liked about this one and why I'm glad that we decided to go with it, because it is so different from anything else within the Malevolent movie universe. Like just visually and tonally, like maybe I'm missing something, but like I just feel like it's kind of like its own animal. Like we haven't really had anything like this.
Yeah, this is, I mean, and I think part of that is because this is like we said, the oldest movie we've watched so far. Like the movies were just different then. They just were. Like a 70s horror movie is just completely different from an 80s horror movie.
Mhm.
There's not really even like any like blood and guts that really in this, not compared to something like Blood Diner,
It's just a hard 1975 PG, baby.
Just people going on vacation.
That's a loose PG too. Well, I'm sure we'll get into that.
PG hit a little bit harder in 1975.
Yeah. 50 years ago, it was different. It was way different.
I mean, parental guidance suggested.
Hey,
And
try it out.
Yeah.
Maybe bring your parent.
probably recommended as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the opening, we got a nice little title sequence. Very simple, just like optical effects of like a camera panning up over this road, and then you see this silhouetted gnarled tree and a bunch of like weirdo clouds are swirling all behind it as we get the credits. It's cool. The music's like this droney synth stuff until it turns into like a Monty Norman James Bond score for a little bit. It's nice. It was very interesting. The music in this movie is interesting. Again, I think that's the 70s squeaking out more than anything else. Once the actual movie starts, we open up with Warren Oates. He's coming into the bike shop that he owns called Cycle World. and he's smoking a cigarette. He's got his tiny little cup of coffee. He's given like blueprints or schematics or something to this younger guy, this younger mechanic, and we find out that he's off on vacation. Him and Peter Fonda and their old ladies are hitting the road, taking this January vacation. Although it doesn't look like it is.
No.
So who the fuck knows?
There's no snow anywhere, but they are heading to Aspen.
Amarillo? Yeah, they're like in Texas or something.
Didn't they start in Texas?
They're in San Antonio, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's getting everything all set at the shop for them to be gone for a while, like a week or so. I don't know how long they're going to be gone for, but he's also looking for, he just says, where is he? And I assume that the movie-going audience at this time, he's looking for Peter Fonda. This is their thing. We don't even need to waste. Where is he? You already fucking know who he's talking about. And you know that Fonda's going to be playing with his bike. And he is. We see him. He's over at the track. And he's got his like white speed racer suit on.
So and good, dude.
Yeah,
he was some red, white, and blue away from being Evel Knievel on that thing.
Yeah. Like it's great. It's just a good old fashioned motorcycle race at the beginning of the movie to get everybody all jazzed for this quiet road trip they're about to take.
And he's just doing like a speed run or something.
Yeah, it's like some flat track. Yeah.
Yeah. He comes back and the other guy's got a stopwatch. He's like, "You're not gonna like it." He's like real like grim, like shaking his head real slow, like, "Oh boy, Fonda's gonna be pissed." But then as that's going on, as Peter Fonda's all upset about the dang bias, it must be it's the turns. I'm not getting as much speed on the turns or something. Warren Oates and their wives show up in their shiny new 32-foot motorhome.
Ooh, it's a beaut.
It's a giant vehicle.
That's a tenement on wheels right there. Cousin Eddie would be proud.
But if Trevor wasn't clear, it's on the track. Like it.
Bikes
they pass by and it drives onto the track.
Yeah, River City Panic style.
I was really hoping that they were going to slam into it or something.
I wanted them to race that thing, see how fast it could go, really whip it around. But yeah, Warren Oates is there. He heads over to Peter Fonda, and their boys start talking about like tinkering with the bike. He's like, "Oh, it's them. I'm losing speed on the turns. We got to do blah blah blah. Well, if I shave this off here and I do blah blah blah," and their wives are essentially like, "Boys, come on now. Like they're so into their bikes, man. This is what they do, man. They can't stop." But they do. Their wives are like, "Get the fuck, come on, there's gonna be traffic." So they're like, fine. They wave goodbye and take off. Once they're on the road, Peter Fonda's changed into like normal clothes, and Warren Oates is showing off all the bells and whistles that he has.
I apologize. Just to get this out of the way now, 75. Is Warren Oates a sexual icon? I just feel like he's doing okay for himself, but I'm not into him as a modern man.
I thought the same thing. Now I can see where Peter Fonda is the pretty boy. Sure. I don't whatever, but I can see that. Put my 1975 visor on. Sure. Yeah. Warren Oates is giving me John C. Reilly vibes.
Dude, that's exactly what I was thinking.
We're like, no. When you first look at him, he's kind of a weird looking guy, but then you keep looking at him and you watch his movies and you laugh with him and you cry with him and you have chills and spills and thrills with him. And God damn it, I just want to come home to Dewey Cox at night.
Yeah, looks like he's 40, like from the time he's 20 till the time he dies. He was like 45 when they made this. He could have been 65.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He also could have been 29 in 1975. I would have believed you.
Yeah, whatever. Tell me, just give me a number. It's fine.
Yeah, anything over like 20 is, I believe it.
Exactly.
Died super young, 53.
But he looked like he was 75.
Yeah, he looks older than, like if you told me in this movie that he was 53, I would believe you.
Yeah.
It was almost, you could almost buy if they would have gone with like, oh, hey, this is a dad taking his son and his wife like on a road trip. It's been a long time since they've hung out together to do something with the family.
Right.
Rather than being like buddies,
Yeah.
Like you could totally buy that. I would have bought that.
It makes sense.
It's all part of the charm. That's why it works, That's part of the magic of these two. But yeah, so he's showing off all the bells and whistles. He's got TV with perfect reception, thanks to the antenna they got. He's got the saloon, which he opens up, and it's ta-da! There's a bunch of like booze, and he's got the thing. He's got glasses. He's got a little thing for ice. He's got everything you could need. What else? I got to roll all this shit down. They've got a double sink. They have a 4-burner stove and an oven and a microwave oven too. And the microwave oven gets its own insert shot. So we can really see it. You can brown that bird right in there.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what he says. And then there's like a couple of like bunk beds, and then in the back is what he says a Roman bath. And he throws open the door, and there's the little Ginger, their dog is there too. What's she doing there? It's Peter Fonda and his wife Kelly's dog.
Dude, that's rude as shit sneaking a dog on the road trip, by the way.
Yeah, man, come on.
Like, I understand, like, okay, we were supposed to get a sitter that fell through, but like you didn't say anything.
Like, I know it's the 70s. Pick up a goddamn phone.
Or at the very least, when you get to the track, hey, listen, we got Ginger with us. We got to deal with it.
Trips off.
Oh, yeah, fuck it.
That's it. I ain't going.
Yep, that's enough.
That's bullshit.
That's right. Fuck this dog. They're looking at all this shit. Great. You bought a sick motorhome. Further down, they're starting to look for a place to stay. Ladies are getting a little sleepy. But Warren, I want to call him Warren Ellis. Warren Oates insists they don't need to stop. And he says, we got a $1,000, we got a $36,000 motorhome. We don't need any restaurants. We don't need any showers. We got our own. We don't need anything from anybody. We are self-contained, babe. And then they just keep on trucking.
Warren Oates is so proud of this, man.
He's moving, man. He's a man on the road.
Well, was there a period of time in American history where the RV was hot and it was like the thing, like it was America's version of the yacht?
I think this is it. I think this is why this
70s
movie gets made.
Okay.
I think this is. I
didn't even think about that. God damn it.
I mean, because it's something we don't need to think about now. But like, I could definitely see that they're like, all right, listen, we're gonna make this new picture. We're gonna have a race at the front. We're gonna have some spooky stuff at the end. We'll have a weird snake fight in the middle. And we're going to set the thing. What's going to be real cool, something nobody's ever done before, a motorhome is where it's set. And it's about a road trip because it's 1975 and motorhomes are new.
Yeah, and gas was probably like 29 cents.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Set the bar for RV movies. All right.
Yeah, like RV.
It did.
Like RV.
It started with Race with the Devil and ended with RV.
That's
Those two films, they bookended the whole era.
Yeah. They could put Christmas Vacation in the middle there.
Of course.
As a bullet point, and that's it.
That's
your RV.
Place.
There's
that's
not
your
much.
RV 3-pack collection at Walmart for $5.
God. What a bizarre collection.
Yeah. Oh, Christ. And then, so I have one sentence left. They spot a dirt road and decide to head down it to camp. And that's it.
Perfect.
Yeah. They're just like, hey, look at that road. Let's go down it. Like, oh, okay. I guess it was like the frontier days in 1975. Let's see what's down there. What's down there is nothing. Well, I guess whoever's next will explain what's down there.
Well, the recreational vehicle can go anywhere. They can go anywhere they want.
That's right.
So,
They're self-contained, baby.
yes.
They sure are, babe.
I do have one thing. One thing to add is the guy who was doing the time was played by the same guy who was Franklin in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I just wish there was some way they could have just killed him right then. And like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, this dude's he's got to go.
Ryan's clapping right now.
Yeah.
He said it. He said the thing I wanted to hear.
Yeah, he had that dude. I wish he would have died in, quickly. That's it. That's all. That's all I have to say.
Well, he can come back for the sequel now if he's still alive. I don't know.
He actually died.
Okay. Well, maybe not.
30 years ago.
Okay.
Oh no. 17 years ago.
Okay.
But the CGI, we can hologram.
Oh yeah.
Hologram of Franklin come back.
With NFT technology, we can do whatever we want.
And Ryan is the only person who's going to contribute to the crowd fund for that hologram.
Bring him back just to kill him, please.
One of the actresses I actually noticed right off the bat was Alice. One of the wives is played by Loretta Swit. And for fans of classic TV, she played Margaret Houlihan on MASH.
Absolutely. Still looking
foxy.
And,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's actually interesting, too, is this because this movie came out around when season 3 of MASH was on. So they would have either had to shoot like before or sometime in the middle of seasons 1 and 2.
She thought this was her big break. She turned in her letter. I'm out of here. I'm a movie star now. Didn't happen.
I don't need that MASH money.
Yeah.
So they go down this dirt road. They end up driving for a little bit. They go through this shallow stream, and as they do that, we get this sort of overhead shot, a shot of where they're gonna park, and it's actually a pretty nice area, big open area, some trees and whatnot, and they park down by the river.
Pretty ballsy of them to plow through that little creek like they did. I wonder if that's gonna come back later.
You have to show off the features of the recreational vehicle.
It's a home on wheels.
Exactly.
Maybe this whole movie was just one big ad for RVs.
The Vogue. They got to sell those Vogues.
But so you get a moment where the couples get out of their RV and they're looking out and they're seeing everything and they're like, oh man, sure is beautiful here. Now let's go skip rocks. And they walk off to do that, and then we cut to the next scene where Frank and Roger are racing their motorcycles.
I don't believe for a second that Warren Oates can ride that thing.
They're going so hard.
He hasn't ridden for 5 years, so
like there's a shot where they finish their conversation, and Warren like kicks off, and it looks really messy. Like oh shit. Like I believe that, but I don't believe all the jumps and shit. Like as like me envisioning his character, it's Warren Oates' face. Don't ride like that. This guy, he rides a horse really slowly. That's what I picture.
He's too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know anything about dirt bike riding. All right, but when they put and maybe this is like a standard thing in racing. I don't know, but what didn't Peter Fonda throw it out there? He's like, all right, lead bike makes the course. Like, okay,
yeah, I think he said something like that. But also,
there's no end. You can just keep going. Like, where are you going?
But also,
Come on, man.
They're racing. So
when do you decide it's over?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I think he starts at like, okay, I'll do you for 50 yards. He's like, nah, man, I only do money. And he's like, all right, $10, which I guess in 1975 money was like $50.
Yep,
that'll fill up the RV.
Yeah, for sure.
So they do their racing, and you watch them go down the thing. And we cut back to Alice and Kelly, who are just sort of walking through the forest talking about, those men and their motorcycles. And, they're like...
as we men love to do, right, gentlemen? We love our bikes.
They're hoping that once they get to wherever it is they're going with snow, that they'll, not have the bikes.
They're loud as shit. They just pulled into this random land and they're just fucking cranking around on these dirt bikes. Like they own this fucking place.
Yeah. They're getting cocky with it.
So, they're going, they're talking, and then the dog starts getting whiny.
Fucking dog.
And it's barking at something. And so Kelly looks over, she notes that, it's really odd for Ginger, the dog, to be barking this way. But, they brush it off. It's got to be the weather. It's getting cold. Right.
I will say, if I can just jump in quick, Morgan, this is the first time in this movie, and I think it's about like the 12.5-minute mark or so, where there's all of a sudden an ominous tone. Like, this isn't like a happy-go-lucky road trip dirt bike RV movie. hey,
It's getting
dogs barking.
ominous.
There's a couple like minor keys within the music. That's all of a sudden like, oh yeah, this is supposed to be like a scary horror movie.
Yeah.
Because it
And
just felt like
then,
a fun summer road trip before that.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that too, because then all of a sudden Kelly starts, looking over across the stream, and it's like, I paused that shot to see what she could have been looking at, and the only thing is like there's a dead tree like slightly to the left of the screen out there, but of the thing out there, but
scary. That's very scary in the 70s.
I guess so.
I don't like the looks of that tree there.
Alice looks over. She's like, "Hey, you okay?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, it's probably the weather. It's getting cold." And we go back to the biking boys, and so they continue their race. There are bits where they're neck and neck. Sometimes I think Roger's a bit ahead. Sometimes he's not, but he does pull ahead for a bit.
Morgan would be great, like commenting on actual like bike races. Well, one's ahead. Now they're not. Some of them turned a corner.
Okay, now he's turning again. Very good.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm just telling it like it is.
Dude, I get it. Listen,
Yeah.
this is what we need.
Yeah, speak your truth.
If you want to attract people like us, you got to get Morgan on the mic.
Yes.
So, they go off. Roger lands on solid ground, and Frank lands in a small pond. And Roger sort of pulls back, and he's like, "All right, guess you owe me that $10." And Frank's like, "I plead insanity." And
Classic Warren Oates.
Am I the only one who was like, how is old ass craggy Warren Oates going to pull that dirt bike out of that pond that he just crashed that in? Because Peter Fonda just took off.
Well, Warren Oates does it to satiate Peter. And so this trip is all about the skiing, and that's what he cares about. And so he's going to go skiing. So that was intentional. He abandoned that bike so he doesn't have to do it again. It came with the RV, and he was just fine with ditching it.
Yep.
I like that theory.
Now, at one point, Frank says, "I'm getting too old for this shit." And I thought it was a reference to Lethal Weapon, but I guess this movie came out a lot earlier than that.
Yeah, it's Lethal Weapons referencing Race with the Devil, if anything.
Yeah. God damn.
Eventually, they both make it back to the RV, and they have dinner time. So they're sitting there. They're sitting there eating, and then dog goes off again. And one of the guys is like, "Oh, what's that?" And the other one, and I think it's Roger, says, "Sounds like a C flat." They're sort of writing off the dogs barking again. That won't come back to bite them, surely.
Ooh, I like that pun. Back to bite them.
Damn.
As they're in the RV, he gives a toast to, his friends and everyone. And then it cuts to them outside, sort of having a calm reflection over the last 5 years, how they're like, "Oh man, these last 5 years, we've really made it." All that.
With this RV, pat.
Yeah.
He really did it.
The three friends.
You, me, and this RV.
That's right.
I
I love Warren's hat in this scene too. It's just perched on top of his head. It's got the big ball at the top. Love it.
They're having this talk, and we cut back to Kelly and Alice, who are inside. They're talking about, "Oh man, the boys, they just haven't really relaxed. This is the most relaxed I've seen them in years." And they prepare for bed. One of them notes that Frank's probably going to be hungover in the morning.
Right.
And then we cut back to Frank and Roger, and Frank's sitting here. He's doing the drunk thing. You're my buddy thing. The only kind of thing that you can really do when you're drunk. And he's talking about how Roger's his best friend, and how much he and Kelly mean to him, that and the other, and then they toast on it.
Roger and Frank, they're out there in the night. They got their coats on. They're getting loose on the brown liquor. They're taking a little sip of the creature. They're being buddies. And all of a sudden, big old fireball happens. And discernible distance, I don't know, 100, 150, 200 yards. But it's close enough that they see it and like, whoa, what the hell's going on over there? It's a big old fireball. They hear some faint chanting, 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 chanting. So our boys, they get up to investigate. Like, what the hell's going on over there? They thought they were alone on this random plot of land that they are just intruding on. And through some deductive reasoning, Warren Oates points out that ain't no barbecue. It's the middle of the night over here. It's dark. They're far away. They can't really see what's going on. So Frank goes into the RV to get the old binocs so they can do a little creeping, check out what's going on. Some more chanting, chanting, chanting. Odd chanting. They sneak up closer to a little spying big ass fire in front of that same creepy tree that was giving the girls the spooks earlier. More chanting, chanting. Like, what are they doing? And then one of my favorite lines in the entire movie, Warren Oates is like, yeah, they're just kind of like, I don't know, moving around.
he doesn't own any kind of dancing or merriment, so he can't.
Absolutely not.
They're just moving around.
Yeah, there's some shadowy.
He was born in that footloose town.
Figures, yeah. Shadowy figures moving around this giant fireball by the creepy tree. Cut to close up of a guy with long, benevolent, buckly black robe, long hair, weird gray half mask. He's wearing like one of those like Ankh necklaces like Billy Kidman in the WCW, and he's hanging out with some blonde woman who's also has some kind of like cryptic black robe on as well, and there's like an unsettling horned skull just kind of like hanging out in the background. It seems like this dude is in charge of whatever creepy shit is going down, and the cult continues chanting, chanting, kind of moving around while our presumed cult leader like drags a sword along the ground behind the circle of cult activity. And Frank observes, well, we got some robes kind of dancing like a ring around the rosy or something.
Frank's a simple guy.
He's
just a blue-collar guy.
I know he's hammered. But this is fucking weird.
He's a meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Yes, exactly. He's a simple kind of man. And he's hammered.
Yeah.
They're
trash.
They're playing London Bridge is falling down over there. They're playing Red Rover, send more over. So, Roger is like, look, Frank, you're hammered. Let me take a look at this shit. So the cult is getting wilder. They're moving around. There's more convulsing. They're getting more expressive. And our boys, they want to get closer. But then all of a sudden they're like, oh, fuck. Technically, we're kind of trespassing right now. So maybe we don't want to get any closer. We don't want to get caught. These weirdos could actually own this land and might be a little pissed if they see us squatting with this big ass RV. So we're gonna back it up a little bit right now. But then all of a sudden, cut to the cult. They're getting naked. They're dancing around like
back
horny,
for the best part.
As
like horny bunnies. Frank is all into it. I think it's an orgy. All of a sudden, it's turned into some weird, creepy episode of like HBO's Real Sex in the 90s. And it's getting real weird, real fast. The cult leader may be getting a Hummer from multiple cult ladies. Hard to say. No.
Hard to discern what's happening down there.
But I do know this. If something's going on down there, it's obviously not very good because he has no facial expression whatsoever. And whatever, they're working hard.
He's stone facing them.
Maybe he's trying to get them to work harder.
Maybe.
He's the leader. You try. You gotta try.
That's some Joe shit.
You gotta try.
And then
some Joe shit.
Then the blonde girl that we saw earlier, all of a sudden she's stripped completely nude. She's in front of this giant flame, and all of a sudden she is lifted up. An old half mask plunges that same sword he was dragging along the ground very kind of unceremoniously and unclimatically into her heart, and then Shit gets real. Boys, we just witnessed a murder.
Mhm.
she be dead. And then with the worst timing ever, all of a sudden the girls start calling out to the boys. Like, come on, guys, you're gonna be hungover. We don't want to drive in the morning. We're like, shut off the lights. And they rush back to the RV. They don't have time.
Bad guys over there. Shut up.
Yeah.
Bad guys over there.
Yeah.
They don't have time to explain what's going on. They get in the RV. They leave the grill. They leave the lawn chairs. They leave the booze. They leave the canopy, and they speed off into the night, into the darkness of these woods with no street lights. All they have is the headlights on this big ass vehicle to guide them. And the girls are confused. Like, look, we just saw somebody murdered. We're getting the F out of here. Frank attempts to drive the RV through that same shallow creek that he had no problem with earlier. All of a sudden, turns out when the lights go down, that'd be a big problem.
Big time.
And that big old machine is stuck in the creek, and they got an angry cult on their tail because the cult noticed them. They took off on foot, and they are in hot pursuit of our heroes. It's like,
Not that I want to poke holes in this wonderfully constructed tale.
How dare you?
There's a lot of pomp and circumstance going on across that creek or river or whatever. I feel like they were there for a while setting up. They had to get all the stuff for the fire and everything. It just feels like you probably would have noticed them over there. And so is it intentional? Like, did they know they were there? Did they want them to see?
Yeah, you see
I don't know.
you see the RV. You can see that from a mile away.
Yeah.
That's the big rig, baby.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, they got a big rig.
But maybe they were trying to show off.
I would have loved it if it was just about taking the RV. Like the cult just wanted the RV. So
Yeah,
This is cool.
right. Like
Fuck yeah,
just
look
on
at this
wheels.
thing.
just roll credits, movie over, 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Done.
it's
Yeah,
got a
perfect.
microwave to more easily kill the dogs, so they
Yeah.
can
Yeah,
put the little
dude,
puppy
brown
in there, blow
bird.
it up.
Yeah, it has
Brown that
all
dog.
Yeah, it has everything for martinis and screwdrivers. You know it's good.
What else?
They
could
could
you
have
need?
mobile
Not mention-
masked orgies in there.
Yeah.
Mobile.
down the
Not
road.
to mention it's all plastic, so it's easier to clean.
Yeah.
Exactly
jeez.
for the splooge.
Shoot.
You know,
Yeah.
Just fucking hose it down.
For the
Spray it down.
loads.
You're good.
For the loads.
Oh boy.
So they're stuck in this shallow creek. The cult is in hot pursuit. And like, fuck, what are we going to do? So like, well, let's just grab some rocks and brush and kind of throw it under the wheel and try and get some traction. And at this point, I had a terrible flashback of when my band Egons, we used to rent the rehearsal space behind the old defunct Horizon House across from the Oglesby Pool, which is all the way in the back. And we had to drive all the way back there to get our equipment. And one day the ground was rather soft and we got stuck and we were late for the show. And I was like, fuck, we need some traction. What are we going to do? And I remembered in a storage room, I was like, bing. Lights went off and they had all these old roofing shingles for the Horizon House. I'm like, all right, we're going to grab as many shingles as we can. We're going to make a path out of here and we're going to save ourselves. So we do that. We line up all these shingles. We're like, we're getting out of here. We're going to make the show on time. And then, but we still have to rock the van and get it out. And then unfortunately, one of my band members was behind the van. And as soon as you cranked it up, boom, shingle to the dick.
Oh, I wasn't expecting.
What a,
Fatality.
yeah, it's a twist ending.
Yeah.
With the full force of a 50-mile-per-hour wheel pushing that bad boy back.
Ooh.
I thought it was gonna just be like
Laser guided.
like a little mud on the dick, but a shingle.
I thought you were going to say that they went in reverse and ran him over.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Never to be heard from again.
Nope.
Yep.
That's a shingle to the dick. Never seen a grown man so angry, confused, and upset at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was complete.
Awful.
That was my fault. But there were no rocks and brush to the dick. This plan worked out perfectly. The RV got some traction, got out of the creek. they got out of there. They continued to drive errantly through these dark woods. The cult is in hot pursuit, running down the creek. And then what do we have next? Somehow the cult is crafty. They know these woods. They cut the RV off and break out the windows as the RV is rolling through the woods and start hanging on the broken windows. Meanwhile, Peter Fonda is literally beating off the cult members with sticks,
Beating them off.
them
Getting
them out of the window, choking them against the windows.
He's satisfying them.
Yes.
That's what they want.
God, I wish Joe was
That's
here.
all-
I never
yes.
thought I'd say that.
They want it.
So the Peter Fonda beats off all the cult members. The RV finds its way back to the road, and they hightail it to.
First, I want to say one of the guys in the cult looked like Nacho Libre. He was on the
Yes, he
windshield.
does.
He had like the little cape and like the curly, and I was like, "That's Nacho Libre for sure."
There he is.
He was feisty up there. They eventually make it into town to the police station, where the deputy Dave, who was the writer of the movie, that is Wes
Oh.
Bishop, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the sheriff. The sheriff, the fuck's his name? Sheriff like Taylor, yeah, and that's Prune Face from Dick Tracy. I recognized
shit.
him. Yeah, I recognized him immediately. I was like, holy shit. And he's
The old
also
prune face.
yeah, and he's General Phillips in Predator. And they both seem quite tired for some reason. So that immediately I was like, all right, something isn't right here. And the sheriff, he takes a hit of Banaka, the breath spray, which till like I feel like 1997, that was, you know, he always had like the Dumb and Dumber Banaka spray in someone's eyes or something. And so they kind of run down, you know, what's going on. And the sheriff recommends going back to the scene of the crime for some reason, like
In the middle of the night.
yeah, like all right, and they're like, oh yeah, it's, you know, it'll be
They
dawn
could clean
by
up
the
or
time.
something.
Yeah, like what? I was like, and the wives, to their like credit, they're like, we're not going back there, but they choose to stay in the RV that has just been torn to shreds by these cultists, if you will. And before the guys leave, they're like, hey, lock it up. It's like all the windows are like the whole back
Yeah,
smashed up.
why?
Like this thing has been under attack for like miles and miles.
Yeah.
So on the way back to the scene of the crime, they reveal that they're going to Aspen, which I did the Google Maps, and that's like 16 hours from San Antonio to Aspen. So I mean, they're putting in the hours
Oh,
in
yeah.
the RV.
That's why I had to
Then
get
that
the
was
RV.
like $25 in gas.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
nothing.
recreational vehicle. I mean, that's
That's right.
you're having
They
fun.
got everything that they got a microwave on board, y'all.
Yeah.
In 1975.
Yeah, they got everything they need in there. So I was like,
Got a TV that gets perfect reception.
Self-contained.
I
baby.
mean, they're good. So I was like, all right, you know. So that kind of gave me like a judge of the distance they're going. So they're talking to the deputy and the sheriff, and the sheriff is just like dead set on blaming hippies. He's like, it's got to be hippies. He's like, you got to be stoned to do whatever they do. He's like, whether they're smoking it or putting it in their arm or up their nose. He's like, I went out one time and saw them, and they skinned 5 cats. And old Warren Oates is like, this time they ran out of cats. It's like, all right, well, I guess, you know, if they're doing, they went from cats. Also, there was that. Oh no, we didn't find out about that. So they went from cats to human sacrifice, which is, it's pretty
It's
big.
a leap.
I mean, it's the next logical leap.
Yeah, like normally there'd be like something in between, but cats to humans, all
Cats,
sacrificed.
dog, deer. Human.
Yeah, human.
I mean,
yeah,
logical. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense when you're all
Maybe a goat in there somewhere.
when you're
sure. Oh yeah, absolutely.
when you're a fucked up hippie, anything goes.
All that acid they dropped at Woodstock.
Yeah, it's still in their
swirling around in their spinal fluid.
Yeah.
Spinal fluid.
They're still catching a vibe off it.
Hell yeah.
So they decide to leave, and I gotta say the sheriff drives like a fucking bat out of hell through this town. Anytime they're in town, he is just cruising. He's going.
Mm-hmm.
He rules them streets.
So they get there.
That's right.
They go back to the scene of the crime. I feel like there's like a continuity error where they're on the other side of the creek from where the ritual was.
Right.
So when they left, did they cross back through the creek past where the ritual was occurring, or something there didn't make sense?
It does. Yeah. It's like it's the same location, but a different area, like a different spot of it or something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, we were right here. But there's
like,
nothing.
No, you guys didn't drive over the creek.
Yeah. There's nothing there. So, the two gentlemen, Peter Fonda and Warren Oates, get out, and they are wearing these coats that just have humongous collars. I mean, the collars on these guys are...
Oh, yeah. They look like Bane.
They're out of control.
With these coats.
Well, they're for the Aspen trip.
Yeah.
Well, so they dressed for Aspen starting in Texas.
Right. What is going on here?
They were acting like they didn't have an RV for storage.
Yeah, you could have a full closet. You could have a whole wardrobe worth of clothes in there.
Well, no, because they put the microwave and the color TV with perfect
That's
section in
You're
there.
right. You're right. So maybe it was coats only. There was no room to leave the coats in the RV, so they had to leave the coats. And so they're rolling out there with the sheriff and deputy. The deputy, Dave, I believe, goes up to the fire, which to the viewer still smoking fairly, it's a smoldering fire, and he sticks a finger in there and he goes, still smoking. It's like, no shit, man.
Open your eyes, dude.
Everyone who's here can see it's still smoking. You're like, no need for that, Dave. And there's also I forget what the other cops who are behind him, but one of them was Booger, and he told Booger to like do a perimeter of the area, but you never really meet them again. And so
those are just like real small town cop names too.
Yeah. You got Booger, Dave, Sheriff Taylor, and some other guy. Yeah. And so, they
Macabre.
Yeah, Deputy Macabre.
Deputy Macabre. So they roll up to this pile, and they were like, "Oh, that's blood mixed in with the gravel." And I believe it's Deputy Dave takes a blood test, but he just scoops the gravel up with his hand to put in a plastic bag. It's like, if I was Peter Fonda or the other gentleman, I'd be like, what the fuck is going, like, clearly this is some sort of like scam, and I'm next in line.
Yeah.
If you're doing blood tests and you're just scooping it with your hand.
Yeah, somebody right here.
Yeah.
Rural Texas, 1975. Okay.
Hey, that's good enough for us, brother.
You're lucky they took a sample.
Yeah. That's how we handle blood. So yeah, and then they do the blood test, and then they see that dog on the tree. Were we introduced to that dog?
Yeah, I didn't have an emotional connection to the dog.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
I was watching, and I was like, did they have two dogs?
No, I think that one was supposed to be like a red herring.
Okay, yeah, because it was like a German Shepherd, and I was like, that's a pretty big I mean, you can fit it on the RV. They have enough room for two dogs. but we were never introduced to that dog.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was like, all right, well, whatever. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
He's like, hey. I was like, all right, well, that's, I guess, a good, like, I guess that would be technically the end of the first act, but I'd no physical or emotional reaction. I was just like, oh, that's kind of cool. It looks pretty real.
Well, Warren Oates feels the same way because he just looks at it for a bit and then turns over his shoulder. Hey,
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
it.
He was, yeah, that's, yeah. And then it was just on like next scene. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, that's a good spot. I feel like that's the end of Act 1 right there.
Okay. Well, Mr. Buckley was supposed to be here to kick off Act 2.
Yeah, where is he?
Oh, he's sleepy. He forgot. Didn't watch the movie. Classic Joe.
Classic
So-
Macabre.
Yeah. So don't worry. I planned for him to fail and covered his part
Always.
too.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a saint, Tyler.
Oh, no problem. Happy to help. All right. So, Alice and Kelly, our lovely ladies, are cleaning out the RV. Kelly finds a note tucked into the glass of like that broken back window. In the note, she opens it up. It's it's cryptic. It's it looks like it was ripped off a piece of paper. And what could this be? And it says, "You are warned by this rune to be silent. Any evil you cause will be returned to you ninefold. So mote it be." I wasn't quite sure what mote meant. Anybody? MOTE?
Like, I thought might, but that doesn't make sense. So
Well,
might be.
moat.
I don't know. Yeah.
Could be the past
Must,
tense of might.
Moated beat?
Like must.
Well, so mote it be. And then below it is a bunch of...
a tiny piece of substance, the tiniest mote of dust.
Okay. So
Like a
dust
mite?
it be.
Jesus.
I guess there's got to be more.
Well, there was more on the paper. There was a bunch of glyphs.
How do I use moat? Look for the moat icon on the comment boxes.
No,
Record
yeah,
and insert
mote is
audio clips.
also an
Yeah.
app. So
Yeah. And
Oh.
Comment and sound off in the comments.
Yeah, how
if
was
you
the
know
Moat
what
app?
moat is?
leave a review of the Mote app in our YouTube comments.
yes, please.
Just tell us
What's
what
your
it
favorite
means.
way to use moat?
use moat in a
Yeah.
sentence.
This episode brought to you by Mote. But Kelly and Alice,
We don't know.
Kelly and Alice ponder over the witchcraft hieroglyphics, as they call them, and both agree that the only place to get answers is the goddamn library.
Hell
Oh yeah, I loved this. These gals are getting to the bottom of this.
Well, it usually there's in modern movies there's a lot more thinking you have to do about how can we learn about this thing? Where would we go for this? And and then it's the library. But these ladies,
Yeah.
it's like, nope, we're going to the library.
Yeah, they're resourceful.
It was a
Mhm.
different time. This was
Or
before
smarter
the
in 75.
yeah, this was before the encyclopedias were brought to your door.
You
Yeah.
had to go to the library to see
Yeah,
this. Like,
you must go.
But we watch them exit the RV and they're having a conversation. It's a very awkward shot because they're clearly centered in the shot. You know that the main focus of the shot, but you can't hear anything they're saying. And then the camera pans along with them. But as it pans, we go over the back of a truck and you see the back of somebody's head in there, silhouetted in darkness. Who
Oh,
could
yeah.
it be? They're watching. And we cut to Warren, Peter, Sheriff Taylor, and his deputies driving down the road. Taylor is like kind of questioning / just kind of pointing out the things that he was told by Warren and Peter. And I apologize, I don't know their characters' names. I just called them by their first names, their actual names. But anyways, he's kind of being jokey. It's a little awkward. Like you can tell that Warren and Peter are uncomfortable. But and he makes some joke about the Jolly Green Giant. I don't remember. But we cut back to Kelly and Alice. They walked into the library and they find the books they need, and that's it. We cut back, and Taylor is wondering what the dog sacrifice would be for. He's trying to like theorize about it and all this stuff. But Peter's like, hey, don't forget that a woman was killed. So like we're more focused on the human being than the animal. But we're back to Kelly and Alice, and they're trying to check out the witchcraft books that they were looking through earlier. But the librarian unfortunately informs them that they are reference books and thus cannot leave the library.
I also like how the library in this small ass town has the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology, a modern day look. Like,
Well, the inhabitants
What,
might
you
be
mean your
reading
town
those.
doesn't
well,
have
yeah,
those?
they're using it for their own everyday life. but like if you've seen that in like a library, I'd be like, get this thing out of here.
But I mean, that really should have been your first concern, because this is, the conservative South, and those books are readily on display at the library. They were found within seconds of walking in there. So if I was them, I'd be like, wait a minute, the locals shouldn't like this here, but the fact that it is here, what does that mean?
Right.
But I also would have taken off the moment that fireball hit the sky. So, I'm just running on different wavelengths from our lead characters.
Yeah. We're different.
But anyways, they're at the front desk. The librarian says, sorry, you can't keep those. And Alice turns to Kelly and heavily implies that she put them back. Wink, wink, wink. They leave the library. Kelly obviously pocketed the books. A siren goes off. I don't know. They said something and like they just brush it off. Kelly gets or Alice gets scared really quick, but then they're like, Kelly's like, it's fine. And then Alice is like, well, we're gonna mail these books back when we're done with them. So hey, just being really resourceful.
Hey, very trustworthy library too. You don't even need a card.
Right. Yeah.
You don't
Normally you have to be like a citizen of that town.
Yeah. With an address and some mail to prove that you live there. No, man. Fuck it.
Yeah, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get my library card recently, actually.
Yeah, it's no joke.
We're back with Sheriff Taylor. He drops off the guys. He tells them to enjoy their trip. Basically, he's like, don't worry. I'm going to take care of it. Everything will be fine. But then Warren asks for a garage recommendation. He thanks the sheriff for his efforts, and they get in the RV where the ladies are waiting, and they just take right off. Taylor's watching them. It's really awkward. Like, you can't really get a sense of, like, is he being weird? Is he making sure they get out safely? Then the Sheriff Taylor turns around, heads into the police station, and that same truck we saw earlier starts following the RV very slowly. So some time passes. The RV pulls up to the garage mechanic shop, and there's a mechanic sitting out front. He's holding a cat, and he's missing some teeth. His hair is thinning, but he's got that good old boy smile. I'm ready here to help you, everybody.
That's Sherman Young, baby.
Well, Peter apparently doesn't like Sherman because he honks, even though there's like 10 feet away. Could have rolled down the window and said hello, which Warren does roll down the window, but Peter honks, and the prissy dog starts barking. So the mechanic gets up and he's like, hey, I have this cat. Like, my cat, that dog, my cat would eat your dog because my cat's tougher than that dog. And it's really awkward and weird. But the cat is not happy. And it's like trying to bite his fucking hand. It wants out of that.
That cat was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't getting, it was getting paid less than scale, and it was not happy about that. But anyways, Peter is being like an asshole to this mechanic because he's like, can you fix this thing? And he's like, well, you see, I don't normally work on RVs, and like, I don't have all the stuff. And he's like, I fucking get it, dude. But could you fucking break some shit up? Like, just come at him so hard. And so, but the mechanic doesn't flinch. He's like, well, yeah, I guess I could do that. I'll put some work into it. And Warren wants him to check underneath because, they were on some bumpy roads. So we assume that the mechanic goes off to check something or grab some tools or something. And then the guys turn back to the ladies. They start talking, because they haven't had a minute to catch up. And so, the guys fill them in on what happened with them, with the sheriff. Peter believes that the police knew, they knew more than they were letting on, because he's like, well, they took us right there and we didn't really tell them how to get to the spot and all this stuff. And Warren's like, I don't know. I feel like we gave him some context clues. Like, it was close enough. And so clearly Peter's like the one that's like, I'm over this. I think this whole town is crazy. And Warren's like, look, the sacrifice, that was bad. Everything else, I got to stay in reality here.
He just wants to ski. He's over this.
That is very true. Yes.
He needs to hit the slopes. Damn it.
But
like
Alice,
Aspen is calling his name.
Well, hey, how did we know that as soon as he hits those slopes, he's not going to bump into the cannibals of Lucky Stiff?
That's right. Could happen.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's something about these winter destinations that are just dangerous. You got to stay away.
I know.
But anyways, the ladies chime in and they're sharing the books and all this stuff. And they pull out that note that they got. And they're kind of discussing, with the guys what they think. But then we see the mechanic pop up in the back window. He's starting to look at things, and you can tell he's listening, but he's playing it off pretty good. And then Warren sees him and he starts staring him down. And the mechanic says, well, here's my plan. I'm going to grab a windshield off a car and I'm going to do a thing and rig the whole thing.
Yeah, he's using plywood and a windshield.
Yeah.
He's resourceful. So,
And like speaking of the mechanic, that was one of the things that struck me as weird too, because like, you know, they're like, ah, man, this town, this is a terrible town. All this is really weird, but they're saying this, you know, pretty loudly with the mechanic right, like, you know, there with a broken window. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, the mechanic's just doing his job, and they're pissed off at him for it. And so Warren's
dare you?
Yeah, Warren stares him down and is basically like, "Yeah, you do your thing," and then he shuts the shutters to the back of the RV, which is it'll deaden the sound, but it's not going to make it impossible to fucking hear.
Yeah,
especially with how loud they're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's essentially the equivalent of like shutting the shower curtain and having somebody not hear you when you're taking a shit. Like,
Well,
same thing.
Yeah.
Again, Big RV is not going to be happy about this because we've already shown that this thing is not as recreational as we once thought. It's going to get stuck in the creek. And then also that little shutter, it doesn't do much for, you know, privacy. Like you're not really by yourself in that vehicle. So we're 0 for 2 there. So we got to watch out.
This doesn't hold up to cult attacks.
No. Which is very important.
Hey, that's one of the first things I look for when I'm buying an RV.
We're inching closer and closer to our Mad Max future. I need my motorcade. My
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do you think in the satanic
fortress
during the satanic panic of the 80s?
Oh man!
Do you think that RV sales dipped hard because everybody had seen Race with the Devil? Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I hope so.
I apologize. I jumped ahead a little bit. This is when they the ladies start talking about the note. So they're whispering to each other ish. And Peter's like, he's just had enough of this. He's like, they're playing games with us. They're coming for us. I'm done with this. Guys, guess what? I think I can get us out of this sucker. And he pulls out of his pocket a little, looks like a rag with some blood soaked in the bottom. He took some dirt samples, just like the sheriff told the deputies to do. And he makes sure Peter lets us know, nobody saw me do it. Warren's like, I didn't see you do it. And Peter's like, I know. That was intentional. Wink, wink, wink. So he wants to go to the big city police department, get it analyzed. Like, not even today would I collect bloody dirt and be like, I'm going to go to the police station to get this analyzed. I believe that at some point you would get the person who can do this, but I don't just police and analyzing dirt. I just don't connect together. Well, they decide that Peter's idea is great. Let's go with it.
Great
so
idea.
They check out a map or something and they decide that they're going to go to Amarillo, which is the next closest big city. They're not going to get there till tomorrow morning. So some time passes. They're headed down the road. Alice and Kelly are trying to relax. I think Alice is like knitting something or crocheting something, and Kelly's reading a book. And as they're driving down the road, she notices a hitchhiker. And her and the hitchhiker have a weird exchange. They're just staring at each other. You could tell something's off. But they eventually arrive at some kind of RV festival campground, just loaded with RVs. The ladies decide to go for a swim. Peter and Warren agree to some martinis. And
I have to interject
and
go
ahead.
Say, he says he's going to warm up some martinis, which...
Oh, I didn't catch that.
That's what the microwave's for.
Absolutely mental. Just, hey, let me warm up some martinis for us. I was like, what?
All RVs in 1975 came equipped with a martini warmer.
Yeah. These martinis must be 90 degrees.
And delicious.
So I just had to get that in. It really.
Well, I'm glad you did.
It troubled me, but I just had it's in my notes.
And then we cut back to the ladies. They're at the swimming pool. They both jump in for their dip. Kelly comes up from the water and she sees what I, jokingly assumed was the director's drunk uncle just staring at her going, and then she turns and there's like an old guy in like a cowboy hat laughing. And then an older woman dips her shades down to look at her. Oh, she's not happy. No. And then there's like a lumberjack and then like two mafia type guys. They're Everybody in town is staring at her, and she is very uncomfortable.
I was uncomfortable.
Well, Sean, when you take your shirt off and you hop into that pool and you come up wet, everybody's looking.
Yeah, we're all looking at you.
Yeah. I did relate a little bit to that scene, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it made me feel.
Or which one is it? Oh shit, sorry.
Alice?
Yeah, is it Alice that's freaking out or Kelly? Kelly's the one freaking out, right?
Technically, they're both
Kelly,
freaking.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Alice comes up to her and she's like, "What's up? What's wrong?" Like, apparently she wasn't noticing the same things. And Kelly's like, "I don't know. I just want to get out of here. I want to go home." And so they leave. And then we're back to Peter and Warren. They're watching the big football game on the TV. They're having a good time. Peter's throwing peanuts at Warren. There's a bet. Who cares? Kelly comes back into the RV and she grabs Peter and she's like, "I want to go home." And Peter tries to calm her down because, hey, they are at the recreational vehicle park. Everything is always okay at the recreational vehicle park. I don't know what his point was, but I just liked hearing him say recreational vehicle park.
It was all new. This leads back to this is new, exciting
We didn't
stuff.
know. We couldn't afford one. We could barely afford the ticket to the theater.
Right.
And he was doing the sales pitch.
I feel like they didn't even have like the RV. It was recreational vehicle. They didn't even think to put RV, shorten it. So.
They had the time. You weren't gonna know what it is.
Yeah, back in the 70s, they weren't prepared for that.
Oh, they should have called the movie the recreational vehicle versus the devil.
Yeah,
that would have
it would have clarified a lot. So much.
I would have heard about it.
Sold a lot of rectional vehicals.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I would have heard about it before last Thursday when. I would have been like, "Oh fuck, RV or not even recreational vehicle versus devil."
Well,
would have been amazing.
So Peter and Kelly are in the back. The RV shutter is closed, or the separation shutter is closed. Kelly comes in, or Alice comes in. Sorry, to Warren, and they do a little, touch and hug, and he's gonna make her a drink. And she's like, "Hey, I think Alice or Kelly wants to go home." And Warren just like looks at her like, "Wants to go home?
I got a ski, woman."
Seriously, he grabs his ski pole and he's like lecturing her about, "We got these fucking ski poles and we're going to the Alps and we're gonna fucking." He was not happy.
Yeah.
And Kelly can hear him, and this she doesn't like it. She's feeling like a what do they call women?
Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer.
What do they call women?
Hysterical. She's being an hysterical woman.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
The whole moment is interrupted by a loud ass, "Welcome to the park!"
Hey.
In barges, the Hendersons, holding a pitcher and glasses. I don't know if it's like lemonade, a martini mix, whatever it was. But hey, it's me, Mr. Henderson, and my wife, Ethel. And dude, Mr. Henderson has some big head, big face going on. And big energy.
Big
made me
teeth
very
energy.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he is a fan of the RV, and he comes in because he's the owner of the beautiful Road King next door. But you guys, you've got the brand new Rogue. It's got a color TV, the stereo, and look at this, Ethel, a microwave oven. And they're
just invited his ass in there.
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
I was so uncomfortable. I was just thinking of like actual, real manners and like,
yes.
And I would have been too nice to kick him out. Just like,
hey, that's part of the RV lifestyle though, barging into other people's RVs.
Yep. You just let yourself
know.
in. But yeah, so he's touching everything. His wife seems a little bit more restrained. Clearly just doesn't have control over Mr. Henderson. But anyways, he opens the partition to the back and he sees Peter and Kelly and he's like, "Oh, whoa, what's going on back here?" And so everybody congregates towards the front. They start having a little bit of a conversation. Henderson prefers the wood finish in his RV over the plastic that Warren has, but Warren says, it's easier to clean. And he's like, "You know what? You're right. It is easier to maintain. I got Miss Ethel here waxing everything twice a week." But anyways, they invite the foursome to come over for dinner. Everybody's like not on board for it, and they terribly, roughly, awkwardly try to get out of it. Like, oh, we were gonna go out to eat, and yes, that's what's
right.
the plan.
We were gonna go to dinner to a restaurant in town.
But Mr. Henderson is a sly dog. He knows what's up. He's like, you know what? Let me make you a recommendation.
Yeah.
I got a place where the steak melts in your mouth, and it's got the best in the whole world country music. And then we hard cut out of there, and somebody else picks up the slack.
Well, I never had much money, and my friend didn't have much more. Bing, ding, 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 ding. This is basically
country music.
Yeah, this is the vibe for the next like 5 minutes.
I don't know what kind of mic that guy was using, but it was the shittiest vocals I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
That's country music.
Shots fired.
bang.
Yeah.
So they're at this honky tonk, and they're just sitting around, and it's fucking packed. This place.
Yeah.
But they've got a table. They got some beers. And looks like they ate maybe something. I don't know. They're hanging out. And they're talking about this. They're trying to explain this witch situation to the Hendersons. But Warren and is his wife? What's his wife's name? Alice.
There's Alice and Kelly. I don't know which.
Kelly is Peter Fonda's wife. I know that much because she has something in a few minutes.
What's Peter Fonda's name?
He's Roger.
Roger and Kelly and
Frank and Alice.
Frank and Alice, yeah.
Frank
that's right.
and Alice and Roger and Kelly.
Yes.
All right.
That's right.
I won't remember that.
I will
Same.
say
I
this, it seems like they're actually kind of relaxed, hanging out at the honky tonk, throwing back a couple tall boys, and just like, this is like the first time since the whole cult attack that, like, you know what?
Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, we're going to get out of this.
This is the recreational vehicle lifestyle. We're okay.
That's right. Yeah, this is a place where you get a pitcher of beer and you get like 4 of those teeny tiny little glasses, like you're at Bianchi's Pizza in Ottawa, Illinois.
Yeah, all greasy.
Yeah,
Get
real slipping out of your hands.
Whoa.
Whoa,
But,
look out.
But also, we went from them being in a state of
like
fear
panic
and shock and panic, and also just being very put off by the Hendersons. And then something happened in that car ride or that RV ride.
Well, it's that
Must have been those
honky-tonk
martinis
music.
warmed up.
Yeah.
Well, they're okay with just divulging all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
oh,
weird.
hey, there was a cult thing and a murder and oh my gosh.
Hey, when that Schlitz hits you, man, all of a sudden the secrets start slipping out.
It's that Lone Star Texas beer. I think they're drinking.
They're on that Shiner Bach tip.
Hey,
There you go.
that's what I'm drinking.
Hey, okay.
Nothing loosens
Yeah.
the lips like liquor.
That's right. Exactly. So they're just laying it all out. And Henderson tries to get Fonda to go dance. Get the two of them to dance. Hey, go take your girl out to the dance floor. Because Warren and his wife are out there, but he won't. He's like, it's too rough for me. And there's like a shitload of people out there, so I understand.
Dude, it was wild in that club.
It was hopping. It was
Yeah,
a
it
hopping
was-
time.
it was
It's
buck wild.
RV people know how to party. Linda notices that Alice notices that the band's lap guitar player is like staring him down like mid song. He's just sitting there playing, staring at him like a creep. But she doesn't say anything about it. But it's something ain't right. Something stinks here. A bar fight breaks out. Henderson says, "First of the night," and they're real jazzed about watching this bar fight. And there's like old dudes, there's like grandpas getting into this fight. Some guy gets like knocked down and he bumps into this old man's stool, and this old man like heaves himself up like he's gonna beat the shit.
Yes.
Like he looks like De Niro in The Irishman trying to kick that guy out of the store. He's like, "Oh God, don't move too fast. You're gonna break a hip,
Yeah.
old
I
man."
was fully expecting like Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott to like pop in there. It was like a scene out of The Double Deuce. It was great.
Yep, clear it out. Clear this place out.
That's right. But yeah, so this first of the night bar fight breaks out, and Fonda's like, "All right, well, see ya. Time to go." And they all leave. All 4 of them leave. They're walking back to the motorhome, and they arrive and stop dead in their tracks, and we see that Ginger, their dog, has been killed and strung up on the door.
Oh,
Kelly starts crying. Oh God, they killed my dog. Oh my God. I mean, she's freaking out. Don't touch her. Don't touch her.
At this point in the movie, I totally forgot Ginger even existed.
No, I did too.
No, I mean, she only showed up for a couple scenes before the fireball, and
Yeah, she's barely there.
Also, nobody wanted the dog on the damn trip anyways. We all forgot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Get the dog out of here.
3 of the 4 people on that RV were like, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
You fuck this dog.
Yeah. Who cares?
And as she's understandably losing her shit, a group of quiet, creepy old folks appear out of the shadows. They're all coming to see, like, hey, what's going on? Why is this lady yelling? And Fonda is like looking at him. Did anyone see anything? Did someone hear anything? And Warren Oates is like, yeah, they would have had to chisel this open. You guys had to have heard something, and nobody says anything. And they basically say, fuck this, and they decide to leave.
Yeah.
Understandably. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go to Amarillo. Talk to the big city police. So they're heading out. Warren's driving. He's get out of the way. He's just swerving around old people. And Kelly's like, it's them. It's the same people. They're following us. And they all kind of half agree, like, maybe. It definitely seems weird that these are 2 different groups of people.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Do we know the distance they've traversed? Like,
It's a lot. Texas is so big.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of doing like Google, like maps, and it's like from San Antonio to Amarillo. That's like 9 hours.
So it's like I mean, this is day 2. I mean, they stopped. So it's
but they didn't get too far. I don't feel
true.
like.
Yeah, I can't imagine I wonder what the top speed is on
Plus the speed limits were only 65, so you're taking off 10 miles per hour back then. Plus,
see, this is the kind of hard data we need on Malevolent movies more.
We need a
Pat,
there's an interactive map that when you watch the movie, you can follow along on their journey.
Yes. Malevolent movies prevents the race with the devil.
Pat, do me a favor. In your retirement, will you purchase an RV and do the Race with the Devil tour?
Yes.
Where you take people on the actual race through Texas?
No. Brother, we borrowed an RV for my bachelor party in the fall, and the side door flew off somewhere around Madison, Wisconsin.
It was somewhere.
It was horrifying.
Was it a cult attack?
A snake lunged at the door.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what it was, but we were going like 80 miles per hour and the door just flew up. It was awful. It was awful. Yeah.
Oh,
and then it wouldn't start like the rest of the time. So it was
the door was gone.
Yeah. I can't start. There's no door.
But did it have a microwave?
No.
Oh, I'll throw it away.
Shit.
So it wasn't one of those good RVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
How you gonna brown your bird?
It didn't have anything. It just had a couch.
Where are you going to warm your martinis?
I bet. Yeah.
It was awful. It was.
There's a legitimate thing here. All we have to do is do a YouTube video of us going on a road trip, the Race with the Devil thing, drinking our warm martinis, fighting with some snakes, murdering a dog. And that will blow up. That'll go viral.
And we stab Joe in front of a fire. It's fine. It's great.
He is the human sacrifice at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh,
we already have the footage. We already have the footage of stabbing Joe in front of a fire in a cult ceremony.
Yeah. I was gonna say, we did that once, didn't we?
And we'll do it again and again and again.
This time it's for real.
Yeah, as many times as it takes, dude. Spooky folks are following them. Kind of got 2 road trips simultaneously happening in this picture.
Sequel from the cult's perspective.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Race with the motorcycle
RV.
gang. Yeah, race with the RV.
Right.
So yeah, Warren Oates is like, hey dear, can you go make some coffee? Put some coffee on while we're driving. I don't know why he sounds like that, but she goes to open up the cabinet and a snake jumps out.
It
Like a
literally
huge-
jumps.
Like it's spring loaded, like
Yep.
the fake snakes,
the
like
can.
that, but a real snake out of a cabinet. And then Fonda beats it with a ski pole.
Well, maybe that was a feature baked into the RV, and they didn't. They were just ticking all the boxes.
so
and they
many-
were-
There's
There's so many features. They've never
Yeah.
opened that cabinet before.
You
Yeah.
hit 600 miles, you get the snake jumping.
Oh my god. So I was sleep deprived when I watched the scene the first time, and this was the funniest thing. Like, I'm watching this happen, and this was the funniest thing in the
this
whole
is
movie.
this is like the Avengers fighting Thanos on his fucking home world. Like this
Yes,
snake has
it's
the upper
it's the
or
Titan
snakes
fight.
have the upper hand for quite
See,
a while.
And that's the thing is that, folks, it's not one snake. It's two snakes.
Oh yeah.
One of them lands on the top of the 4-burner stove, and they don't turn
it
the
on.
fucking stove on.
Might not have been hooked up to the like a propane.
Yeah, it's 1975. That's going to be a lot. It's fine.
But
It's
you
probably
see,
gonna look like
that
shit.
would have been better because then they could have shown the feature of the propane tank and how to do it. Basically, if this movie was 100% one an ad for RVs, but two a tutorial for how to use them. So and this is how you turn the propane
see?
tank on and get all that going. Like, there's a movie here, guys.
Yeah.
we can do this RV.
We got to make it.
It's
Yeah.
just a commercial.
RV with the devil's RV.
yes.
We can chill.
Just
we
see,
can
snakes
chill
are
for
cold-blooded, right? So if they turn on the heat, it would just make it faster.
Oh shit.
exactly.
Well, that's
That's
something we
true.
can learn. There's a little bit of science here too.
See,
Yeah.
Warren Oates knows this.
Yeah.
He knows
Can
this.
we
Or
can
knew
we
this.
discernibly say that no actual rattlesnakes were hurt in the making of this
Absolutely.
movie?
They are both.
mean-
they're probably both still alive to this day.
Today, yeah.
If I had,
They're
to guess.
living off the residuals from their
Yeah.
checks on this movie.
And we've
Yeah.
got him here,
Yeah,
folks.
you
Bring him
see-
out.
Nah, you
Let's
see, they had them
go.
taxidermied, and they're in the race with the Devil Museum.
yes.
they're in
Yeah.
a Planet
And-
Hollywood somewhere.
in Amarillo, Texas.
Yes, or the Amarillo,
Yeah.
Texas Planet
Yeah.
Hollywood.
I've never heard anyone mention Amarillo,
oh shit!
Texas.
They've got the snakes from Race with the Devil. Quick, take a picture.
Yeah. No flash photography, please.
Yeah, they'll come back to life. So Fonda beats it with a ski pole. is what I
Beats
have
off
written.
that snake.
Yeah, Fonda jerks off until he comes drowning the snake.
All right. Okay.
No, he beats it with a ski pole, beats a snake with a ski pole, and Warren crashes into a tree.
Dude, he was driving so shitty when he drove. He was driving like on the side of the road for like a quarter mile.
Like, Warren, there's nobody on. This is an open stretch of road.
yeah.
You're not
Awful.
going very fast as is. Just
Yeah.
slowly hit the brakes. You've got you're just driving. Just fucking drive. Henry
Yeah.
Fonda can take care of himself.
Yeah. And it just
Uh,
right into the pole.
Just bam. But he's okay. Everybody's okay. And then they fight those snakes while their wives scream for 3 uninterrupted minutes. And that's the end of my section.
Yeah. Nailed it.
But yeah, there's the one on the stove that Warren Oates is kind of fighting, and then Fonda is like on the ground. He got knocked over, and he's just like staring at this snake, and the snake's staring at him, and he's staring at the snake, and the snake's staring back at him, and then he eventually just picks it up, and he kind of does like a cool like karate strike quick, but not that quick. He just kind of goes and picks it up gingerly.
It was pretty damn good. It was pretty
It
good.
was.
It was
He was like
Yeah.
he was like
It
Mr.
wasn't
Miyagi
heightened.
catching a fly.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was very like how something like that would actually look, and not like cool movie style where it's super fast. You know, it was a little disappointing, but good for him. He did it. It looked like a real snake too, at least in that shot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It did always look like real snakes.
Yeah.
Because they got the live shots they needed, and then after they beat them to death, they used them as
Yeah.
the rag dolls they needed.
Yeah. All right, now we can just toss them around or
It's
whatever.
like, you
Yeah.
see, those snakes weren't even part of the movie. They just stuck into the RV. They were taking another shot.
Yeah, this whole scene was improvised.
Great camera work. Great camera work.
Yeah.
You know, they got those snakes dead, so they just chuck him on out of the RV. But at this point, Kelly's had it. She's freaking out and she leaves the RV. She's like, I can't take this anymore. I can't take it. So everybody sort of leaves the RV and like, they're trying to comfort her. And like Alice is sort of there. She's like, she's kind of having a breakdown too, but like not as bad as Kelly. Right. But so Frank and Roger are like, all right. We're going to go back into the RV. We're going to turn it inside out. We're going to check everything to make sure that, there aren't any more snakes in this RV or anything else. So they do. They go back. They start, going through cabinets, flipping through stuff. And I remember thinking, oh, God, there's going to be a third snake. Because that would have been the funniest thing if there was a third snake.
Snakes always attack in threes.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, rule of three, right?
This is a 3-snake movie. All right.
But no, as they're doing, checking through the cabinets, they do, in fact, get attacked by a box of macaroni. Just sort of falls out on the floor and they just look at it, but no more threats. Cool, fine. So they call Alice and Kelly back into the RV and they're like, all right, we're gonna get going. We're gonna keep on moving. And I think Roger's the one driving, and he turns, or was it Frank? One of them's behind the wheel. They turn the ignition and it's not coming over. It's not like it's not rolling over. And he's like, yeah, it's like, dang. I think there's something wrong with the battery, with the fan. And the other one's like, all right, I'll get a flashlight. I'll go out and I'll take a look. And Kelly's like, no, don't do that. What if they're still out there? And they're like, fine, we'll lock everything down. We'll hunker down for the night and we'll check in the morning. And so then we go to the next scene where Roger has just finished burying the dog. And, he puts the dog bow and collar and leash on the grave. And he's walking back to the RV. And he's like, well, Frank, how's it looking? He's like, he says a bunch of car mumbo jumbo that I can't remember. He's like, yeah, it'll take about, 30 minutes to fix. And so he goes around back to the RV to drop off the shovel. And then he sees their bikes and they're all beat up. The frame's beat up, he looks at the wheel. It looks like someone took a knife to the wheel, to the tires, and like some of the spokes are bent out of shape. And he's like, hey, Frank, someone beat up our bikes.
It was Warren Oates because he didn't want to ride again.
I missed all this. I was still thinking about the snakes.
Yeah, I think they put a hole in the gas tank too. I think that's part of
it. They might have.
I think so.
Can't remember.
That might happen later, but I think it
maybe.
Happened.
I know but they eventually get everything running again, and they go to some corner store where you got this old guy who's just finishing up a joke about a hen, some eggs. Not really important, but
but you're gonna get this hard-hitting news here first, folks.
But so they get in, and Frank goes up to the counter to buy a shotgun because they've been they've had this weird shit going on. It's like, okay, we need something to protect ourselves. Meanwhile, Roger goes to the phone to go ahead and see if he can call the police or someone. And so he tries dialing, he tries hitting the thing, and nothing's happening. Looks over to the shopkeep, and the shopkeep's like, oh yeah, phone lines are down. We had a big wind come through a few days ago and knock them out. Guess they're not fixed yet.
Big wind.
So,
big wind up north. Big wind up north.
Everything's down because of big wind.
Fuck that.
They buy all their guns and ammo and stuff, and
very easy to buy a gun in Texas in 1975. By the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's like buying a pack of gum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got a shotgun? Yeah, right here. You got some shells? Well, of course.
This is your complimentary shotgun for walking into the building.
Yeah.
Right. Plus shells were like $4 more than the gun.
We got Coca-Cola, we got gum, and we got shotguns. What kind of hook you boys up with?
I'll take
they had
one
a
each.
whole rack of guns too.
And we got rattlesnakes in the back.
Oh shit, bang, bang.
Nah, those are cabinet rattlesnakes.
Yeah, don't shoot them. They work here.
Oh, that would have been great if they bought a couple cabinets and then when the cult members show up, they just open them in their direction. The snakes fly out.
Perfect.
I just want to watch a cartoon.
Let's do it. Let's just make one. It's fine.
Race with the Devil 2. Cabinet snakes.
Hell yeah. It's animated this time. Ryan's gonna hate it.
Fuck you, Ryan.
This time,
eat my ass. Go watch a cartoon.
Samuel L. Jackson is driving the RV this time.
Yeah.
He is the
Spiritual
RV.
sequel to Snakes on a Plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
He's
like,
become
these
the RV.
motherfucking snakes in
Snakes
these motherfucking cabinets.
Snakes in the cabinet. It's a sequel
Anyway,
to Indian in the Cupboard.
Oh,
God.
Let's see. So yeah, they prepare. So they're preparing for trouble, and they're driving down the road. One of the wives is driving, and actually, I think it was Kelly was driving, while Frank is, sitting there fiddling with the gun, loading it, and everything, and Roger's sharpening a knife. And let's see, he cocks the gun, scares Alice awake, and they just continue down the road until they arrive at another gas station. Although I think this time they actually needed gas and their water checked. So they do that. The guy at the gas station's like, you guys got a busted window back there. How'd that happen? And Frank's like, I don't drive well at night.
That excuse would never work with the cops.
no.
Well, I've heard enough. He's got a shotgun. Let's go home.
Yeah, he's fine.
So as they're waiting, Roger's like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can call the police again. Check the phone here. And Frank, you lock up behind me. And that's what happens.
Yeah, so Roger goes inside this other gas station, tries to call the cops again. This gas station interior kind of looks like a grandma's house. There's like an old man in a rocking chair. There's random bags of feed.
Is that an old lady?
Was it a lady? I don't know. It was dark in there.
I think it was an old lady.
It was a rocker.
Gas station theme.
It looked like it just reminded me of like a grandma's house. Like it's like a grandma's house.
Yeah. All right.
So he picks up the phone. It's like an old like rotary one with like the separate piece, and he reaches the operator. Hello. But there's like a bad connection, and then we see that the creepy gas station attendant. We see him through the window, and he's obviously messing with some wires or doing something. You could presume he's messing with the phone line a little bit, so the phone's not working, can't connect. So Roger gets out of the gas station. He's pissed off. He tells the attendant, like, hey, your phone's not working. And the attendant's like, well, yeah, it's been out for about a month. We ain't too quick to fix things out here. Oh, by the way, you got a busted headlight. Like the entire RV is fucked up.
The whole front end is just smashed.
And I get the joke. I get it. So you go in there, and I realize we get a little piece of information. They got 175 miles to Amarillo and some potential help with that blood sample they got there in civilization. And, hey, man, big wind. God damn it. Big wind knocked out all the phone lines. What are you going to do?
Big wind up north.
That's right.
You know how it is in Texas. So they start making their way. They're gassed up, making their way back down the road, try and get to Amarillo, find some answers, find some civilization. Make it to the freeway, and spirits are a little bit higher. They think they're out of the woods, and the girls use that 4-burner stove, and they start cooking up some eggs and bacon for the gentlemen to fuel their journey. Spirits are high, and all of a sudden, shit! Truck in front of them slams on the brakes. Eggs and bacon grease go flying. Breakfast is completely fucked. Then
again, I feel like our big RV would have told them, do not show them cooking while driving. Do not do this.
Yeah. Don't have hot grease going if you're gonna emergency brake. Yeah. Take it easy on the grease.
Maybe just have some toast or cereal for breakfast.
Warren likes to run his toast through the grease.
Yeah. Don't. Oh, come on.
Cook some eggs in the microwave.
Yeah, see?
Oh,
You've
yeah.
got
Oh, God.
Brown the bird.
Brown it up. So they realize it's not just this car in front of them. There is actually the tow truck from the gas station that they were just at. This blue tow truck is behind them, and it starts ramming them, and they are under attack. They are boxed in. Now it is time to fight back, and Roger tells Frank, "Get the gun."
Hell
It's
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It's absolute chaos on the road. There's screeching tires. The girls are flying all over the RV. So, anyways, Frank starts blasting.
Dude, he's peeking out through the windows real sneaky with that
really-
fucking
yeah.
rifle, man.
Yeah, man, he's got that rifle. He starts putting some buckshot into the box truck. They continue to get rammed, and now there's a third vehicle involved. It's a rogue red pickup truck is boxing in on the other side now. Now it is 3 against 1 giant ass beat up RV. Now they manage to kind of get the red pickup truck off the road, and it goes up some embankment. But this red pickup truck, it's savvy, and it finds its way back to the road. So, anyways, Frank starts a blasting again, and he gets a couple good rounds of buckshot in the box truck, and it fucking hits this hill and flips over. And the tow truck's still in hot pursuit, screeching tires, busting glass. Girls don't know what the hell is going on. And then Roger's like, I need to do something, man. So he takes this big old bird, the RV, and he's like, I'm going to play chicken on the road. So he gets in.
This is incredibly well shot. Like
this
everything
whole
Sean
thing.
is describing is like you see clearly, and like these vehicles are slamming into each other at high rates of speed.
Yeah, I think all the chase throughout the rest of the movie is great.
Dude, this whole scene is just as entertaining as anything Tarantino did in Death Proof. Anything like I'm serious from like
I believe you.
This is the kind of shit that they were talking about in that diner.
That's
Yeah, man.
yeah, no shit. No, I guarantee it, man. Like the scene with T2 with the semi truck and the motorcycle,
Yeah.
like just as exciting and gripping. And I'm not like joking at all. Like I was on edge this entire thing. This is awesome.
Yeah,
Frank's
this is a
out the
great
window.
chase.
He's got the shotgun. Cars are flipping over. There's other vehicles on the road that are, trying to avoid getting smashed up in the process. Meanwhile, there is a giant RV.
Yes.
A giant ass RV.
Right in the middle of the whole fucking thing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. It's been a really, really long time since I've seen it. In T3, is there an RV chase?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there is. And it ends in the cemetery.
Yeah, it ends in the cemetery where he's
yeah.
carrying the coffin. on his
Yeah.
shoulder.
I'm not saying there was some inspiration, but I think there might have been some inspiration.
It could be.
Dude, Race with the Devil may be low-key the most influential film
ever
of
made.
all time.
That's right.
In all my research, I heard it was influential to the Nick Cage movie Drive Angry and the Kevin Smith movie Red State. And those are like 2 of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Damn. They
So,
like this
I don't
one,
know.
I guess.
I don't know. But maybe, maybe the bigger directors aren't as vocal about it.
P dropping that hot take.
Yeah.
Hey, I read
Buckshot fired.
Hey, I did the IMDb summary of it.
So,
sure.
anyways, Pat starts a blasting.
So you got another.
No, I got a little bit more. So the so Roger's playing.
You got to do the school bus.
Oh yeah. So
Okay.
Roger's playing chicken, and oh no, red pickup truck is back. It's careened back down the hill, and it's boxing him in again. And Roger rams his ass over this bridge. The red pickup truck ignites into a ball of flames as soon as it hits the embankment of the bridge, exploding in midair, flips over. It all looks freaking awesome, and then falls into the drink.
Perfect.
It's great. The whole thing is great. And now our heroes are safe. They can breathe. They have dispatched these 3 vehicles that were in hot pursuit. They pull the RV off the side of the road, assess the damage. Okay, no one's hurt. Frank takes the wheel, and it's on the road again.
Amarillo, here we come.
Mhm.
Not for a long time though, because
Okay, come on, man.
literally like 4 seconds go by and they're like, what's going on up here? And then it's a fresh accident. It looks like a car versus a bus. And old Warren Oates said, I don't believe a school bus on Sunday, and just burst through that whole like intersection. He's like, yeah. He's like, we're going. So now they're immediately like back at like full chase speed. You see old Sherman Young, the mechanic that the deputy and sheriff latches on to the side of the RV. They flip him into the creek. I thought he was dead, but he might not be. There's a portly fellow who's climbing on. I don't think are they jumping on from the back of the truck yet or no? But there's two guys that are climbing up the back, and I believe it's Warren Oates yells, "Do it!" And Peter Fonda just shoots this guy right in the chest. Just leaves him just air holes him. He goes flying out the back. And then the other guy who was with the bigger guy is trying to, I'm assuming, burn the RV by dumping gas through like the main vent.
Oh, right. Yep.
He's on top of the thing while it's flying down the highway. It's impressive.
Yeah, he's a little squirrely guy. So Peter Fonda has to get up there and makes his way up there. Warren gives him the 2 honk notification that there's a rail bridge coming. And this
it's the standard 2 honk.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, when you're on the top of the RV going, I think they're only going like 35. It doesn't look like they're going that fast.
It's standard RV practice.
Right, yeah. You get the 2 honk warning.
That's another thing that we learned about in our version of this movie.
If you're living the recreational vehicle life, you know the 2 honk warning.
Yeah, everybody knows about it.
Yeah, you're getting a low rail bridge. So Peter Fonda ducks. The other guy just gets wrecked. Does like a backflip off there. That was actually like pretty cool. I gotta admit. Peter Fonda's up there, and then he's using, I'm assuming, the gasoline that the Satanists were trying to kill him with by destroying the cars behind him. And this was honestly like, it was pretty good. The whole chase scene, it was good.
It's impressive because I don't think of 70s movies moving this quickly, like literally.
Yeah.
Like everything is just usually so slow and even paced, but this is fucking frenetic.
Yeah. And now this is possibly my favorite part of the movie. So Peter Fonda's on top of the RV, and there's this white Dodge truck that comes just motoring behind. I think it has to like dodge one of the other trucks, and it's on 2 wheels.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say maybe like 2 miles, like going around curves.
Oh yeah.
Just on 2 wheels, perfectly like balanced. And he climbs down and releases, I believe it's his, 'cause he was like the Kawasaki rider. So I think it's like the green motorcycle, which was his. He cuts that one loose. The white Dodge, who has been going through a series of twists and turns, somehow directly hits that motorcycle, spins off the road. Very awesome.
That 2-wheel truck bit was like some of the most impressive stunt driving I've ever seen in my entire life, and I don't know how that was great. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was
no
insane.
idea. Like it was swerving to miss something, and then it was just on 2. I've never seen a car like a truck on 2 wheels.
My jaw was dropped the entire time.
It was amazing. it was great.
And like it was on those 2 wheels for like, it seemed like it was longer than it should have been.
Yeah,
longer than is possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a minute and a half of screen time, just like still chasing down the RV. During this sequence, they had 2 of the typical like dramatic like orchestral beats, like dun dun dun.
Yeah.
And so they eventually lose the Satanist, and they come up on some road construction, and some guy just like filling potholes is like, "Oh yeah, it's 82 miles to Amarillo," and they're like, "Oh great," you know. But
An hour and a half.
yeah, and then they're driving, and you get a lot of front shots of the RV, and it's like right the whole passenger side in the front. There's not even anything there, and they're like, "Oh, we should find somewhere to pull over. We don't have any headlights." The whole fucking front end is just completely smashed. The fact that it's even running is
You shouldn't have an engine. Right
yeah,
now.
There's no smoke. Nothing's like hanging down. It's just like nothing.
These are
there.
sturdy vehicles.
Yeah. Which
You can put these fuckers through anything.
Right? Yeah,
That's
big
right.
RV. You know.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. These things are indestructible. Fuck it, it's fine.
Yeah. So they still have 82 miles to Amarillo, and
That's the title of the sequel.
yeah, 82 miles.
82 miles to Amarillo.
Will they ever make it to Amarillo?
I don't know.
No one knows.
Maybe.
Not
Who
us.
knows?
Yeah, so they take the right, they take the detour. They're like, we should pull over. We don't have any headlights, and they turn, and it's a pretty nice shot. It's all kind of like sunlight and the RV going. And they're like, "Oh, there's an open spot over there." There's literally nothing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What are you thinking?
Oh shit. Okay. I gotta find it. I gotta find it.
Wild shit are you about to say?
Okay. The construction worker that waves them on,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is the hitchhiker.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
Oh fuck. I gotta go back and find it.
the hitchhiker from when is that in the movie?
That's
It's
way
when
early.
That's real early.
They leave
the library, right?
and they're on their way to the recreational extravaganza park.
Oh,
I am
right.
okay. I'm almost there.
If not, it's probably the guy wearing like the Fair Isle sweater where they're in the pool and he's just like standing by the pool, like
Oh,
doing
that is
the whole
1000% the
Rosemary's
hitchhiker.
Baby stare.
I'm gonna see if I can
No
find that in
shit.
the credits.
That's cool.
I'm gonna see if I can find him in the credits. But yeah, sorry, it just like I was paying close attention.
Oh
I'm
no, absolutely not. No harm,
That's
no foul.
great.
So yeah, they say, "Oh, there's an open spot up here." They're in the middle of nowhere. There's open spots as far as the eye can see, and then they're like, "Oh, gonna spend one more night out in the boonies." As is a reoccurring theme with these four, their lives have been in danger for 4/5 of this movie, but they're always like, "Let's get some martinis going. Let's get some screwdrivers. Or what's he say? He's like, I don't know what we're doing for dinner tonight, but I'm making some of the driest martinis." And it's like, maybe if you had like a satanic death cult on your behind, like for the last weekend, maybe chill on the booze.
I mean, it was the 70s, right? Alcohol was an acceptable coping mechanism back then.
Yeah, it was different time, different place.
Definitely.
And it like basically as soon as it seems like they park it, they're making martinis, they're making screwdrivers. Here comes the sheriff. Here comes the couple. What were they, like the Hendersons that they went to that joint with? You see the librarian. You see our boy, old Sherman Young is there, the guy with the first mechanic. You're seeing basically the whole cast of the whole movie.
It's
you
a curtain
learn.
call.
Yeah, like come out and do a bow. And
Let's do a kick line all of a sudden.
Yeah,
They start like a stage 212 routine.
So they start doing their satanic chant and slowly light a fire. Mind you, the four protagonists are in the RV where at any point they can be like, "Let's fire this bitch up and get out of here."
Yeah, but they don't have headlights.
They don't. They're playing within the law here. They don't want to be on the road without headlights. But so I mean, then it basically goes black.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
that's that.
Race with the devil.
That's the finish line.
I do like the ending. I do like the ending.
Me too.
I'm not.
No music at the credits, but
No.
one little note I took from the credits: the stunt coordinator, his name was Paul Knuckles. So
Fuck yeah.
and I thought he did a great job.
My guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul Knuckles.
He's probably one of the cultists too.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure
Yeah, probably.
There's
he's
only
somewhere in
like
there.
10 credits for actors at the end credits. I don't quite understand it, even though there's like 100 people in this movie.
Yeah, it goes by very quick. I was like,
It may have just been like a Howling New Rising situation where they literally got townspeople to play these extra roles in these cultists.
I would believe it. Absolutely.
Okay, so Race with the Devil, 1975. Macabre Nights pick here in the what were the summer rock and road series? Or
The Rock and Road Trip.
Rock and Road Trip, and this is definitely a full-on road trip movie in a big ass RV. Man, I gotta commend.
Well, on
Trevor
a scale from malevolent to benevolent, how do you feel, Sean?
I'm full on benevolent. I love this movie, and it's a movie that I didn't think I was going to. And I'm not saying I fought against this pick initially, but before I watched it, like, oh, it's from 1975, Peter Fonda. I'm like, it's not on brand, right? But as soon as things are going in, you get the whole dirt bike kid thing in the beginning, and then the cult shit gets going on, and then just crazy car crashes. This thing is PG, and for a malevolent a hard ass PG for a malevolent movie, there is little to no gore.
Yeah.
The violence is very muted. Yeah, you got a little 70s nudity in there, but I mean, as far as like
party hat,
yeah, there's some party hats in there.
Little guy in there.
But as far as like salacious stuff, it's very tame. It's just like, action and car chasing and snakes. Yeah, dude, I love this movie, man. And I was so pleasantly surprised by it. And I would go back to the well. I would watch this again.
Wow.
So benevolent. Yes. 100%. Let me pass it over to Mr. Popgun. What you got?
Yeah, I'd say it's benevolent. One of the things that because it did have kind of a slow start, and one of the things is I watched the trailer before I actually sat down and watched it, and like because the trailer focuses on the car chase scene, but that doesn't really happen until the last 10 minutes. But the real thing here is the buildup, like the buildup and the paranoia and like everything going up to the end. It was great.
We never really get a full motivation from the cult. Why they don't stop their deadly pursuit. They're just absolutely relentless.
They wanted the books back.
They wanted the
books, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. I love that.
There it is. Yes. Yeah.
That'd be so great if they
I
just
wish
like
that was actually if that was the last shot. They're all on the ground terrified. Oh God, you're gonna kill us. Please don't kill us. And they step over them just to get to the purse and take the books out, and then they leave.
Yeah. Or they disappear in a puff of smoke. Poof.
Yeah. See ya.
That works for me.
Yeah, I'll pass it over to Patrick.
I'll give it a benevolent. I thought I was kind of worried that I was gonna like it more than you guys, because I was like, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
A lot of it was. I wish you would have found out like what happened to them at the end. I don't really like. I wish there. Had some closure there, but my main thing was, we're so close to 4th of July. Why the fuck aren't we doing? And I know it's the whole theme, but we should be doing Uncle Sam is what we should be doing.
Uncle Sam.
If
I
you
don't
guys
know this movie.
Oh, you guys don't know Uncle Sam?
I know Uncle Sam.
Okay, all right. But I enjoyed. I thought I was going to be like the lone enjoyer of the movie, and for what it was, I liked it. Benevolent for sure.
Oh yeah.
Let's do a bonus episode with Uncle Sam, can we? For the holidays. Snap it up.
Yeah, Joe, wake up. Watch Uncle Sam.
Yeah, Uncle Sam, let's go.
Jesus.
Trevor, hit it. Or You either want Trevor, hit it up.
I'll do it. I'm gonna smack it. Yeah, here
All
we
right.
go.
Just
Yeah, perfect.
what?
This is a benevolent movie for me. I liked it quite a bit. I was also surprised. I was a little skeptical when I asked Tyler to grab this for the Plex to get it on there to watch, but I really liked it. I feel like we don't get a lot of stunts in Malevolent movies.
That's fair.
Stunts are hard. I mean, it makes sense. You need professionals. Most of these movies do not have those. But this seemed like a cool way to get something in that like we don't normally see. And it's rare that we can do that while maintaining the theme of what we're doing. I know I've caught some shit from Ryan in the past, so I want to make sure I'm getting the right themes in and everything. I don't want to have another Baby Geniuses fiasco on my hands, but that's fine. Yeah, this is definitely benevolent for me. I mean, everybody's pretty much said everything I love about it. The stunts are great. The final car chase is awesome. I like the slow burn. I like these characters. I like these actors. I think they clearly have been making movies together. Yeah, it's great. It's, you know, like we've all said, like Tyler said, I was surprised it literally moved so quickly for a 1975 movie. But yeah, absolutely would recommend it. I think it's on Tubi as well for free.
Yes, I think you're right.
So yeah, absolutely go watch it. It's very breezy. It moves along pretty quick. And it's not that long either. So yeah. Absolutely. Tyler, what do you think?
All the same sentiments. I'm just gonna differ from Pat a little bit. I usually don't like endings where it just ends like before your final beat and it's ominous or whatever. But I, for some reason, really like this one. And I don't know if that's just a testament to the action, where it's like they earned it. They earned their escape. They fought so hard and they didn't make it.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and so I mean, like I can understand plenty of other reasons why it would be frustrating. So I don't know if I'm just being contrarian just because it's like I was just so the action is just like that last chase is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and,
It's great. It's great.
But I mean, like you're not going to watch this movie for the plot. You're not going to watch this movie for any outstanding acting performances. I mean, most of it is just like, how do we get the RV back on the road? Like that's what you're waiting for. Can we fix the RV? Can we get it moving again? But it's breezy. It's breezy. It's enjoyable. And yeah, I get full on benevolent. Joe, you should have been here. You missed some good bits. I'm going to give it, 5 snakes in a cabinet. So
damn, look at that. There you go.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so up next is supposed to be Nick and Zach's band. We don't have a name. We don't have a logo. We don't have a theme song yet. The pressure is on. So hopefully those two deliver.
And this could be our swan song, man. If we don't make it out of the
there's
first
an
round,
elimination.
we're done.
That's true.
Race with the devil. We could be, with Warren Oates and Peter Fonda out there getting cut up in the desert.
The two wild cards who always get these ridiculous fucking bug nuts assignments, and they pull out Insecticidal and Doll Factory out of thin fucking air.
Oh yeah.
So who knows? Like I'm not resting on my laurels here. I'm still a little nervous.
Anything goes.
That's right. That's a beauty.
Well, it was great to have you on, Pat and Morgan.
Yes, thank you. This was awesome.
Agreed. Anytime you want to do Uncle Sam, I'm
we got a ringer right here.
I'm down. I haven't seen it in probably 17 years, but
holy shit.
I like to revisit the classic. So.
Of course.
Well,
we don't have Joe here to say something
disgusting
disgusting to cut out.
Joe.
So good night, folks. I hope you enjoyed this delightful episode with our two new friends.
Yeah. Hop on that Moat app, rate your favorite RV.
Yes, there you go.
Check your cabinets for snakes.
Yeah, don't be opening up any strange cabinets, folks.
And make sure to warm up those martinis.
Oh, God.
Always.
Piping hot.
Gather round for a festive fright. Make sure to hold your loved ones tight. Huddle close and turn off the lights. It's time to dance with macabre nights.
I would say it wasn't frightening. It was like suspenseful, it was shocking, macabre.
Now it's not macabre. Get the name straight, Joe. We're here to stay. No, it's not macabre. Get the name straight, Joe. We're here to stay. Kill off the couch on your parents' basement. Macabre night's gonna wipe you off the pavement. Rolling through town on a big ol' RV. Got a VCR bag full of horror movies. No, it's not macabre.
Macabre.
I told you it's not macabre.
Macabre.
It's not macabre. It's not macabre.
Macabre.
Joseph Robert Buckley, whose entire existence will be at the mercy of whatever ghouls we in Macabre Knights can summon, because frankly he is being incredibly disrespectful, mispronouncing our name. It is Macabre Knights. We have been Macabre Knights since the dawn of time. Your day of reckoning is at hand, young sir. Good day.
That movie was so macabre, I was shitting.